Hello and welcome to this trophy / achievement guide for Running Rampant on Grand Theft Auto Vice City the Definitive Edition. Now there is some pre-work to do to this trophy, so what I have done is I've gone and collected the 100 packages. Once you have collected those 100 packages, you will be able to get the Hunter helicopter at the Ocean Beach helipad, which you can see here, which is right by the first save point that you enter when you start Vice City. So I've set a marker for outside the airport. There is a way of trying to get the vehicles to spawn in the exact same location, which will really help you when you're doing this, and will also really help you when you're doing the Take the Cannoli trophy, which I will also have a guide on the channel. So if you are struggling with that trophy as well, you can please check that out, as I will use the same methodology, and you'll need to pretty much do the same method anyway. So here you can see we pull up outside this airport building here. You should note that it doesn't always work. It doesn't always give you the specific spawn locations. I have had it where they all spawn actually on the airport runway, which is the kind of the perfect way to do it. I don't believe they do on this particular run, or on the run I was doing for Take the Cannoli, sorry. So for now, you're just going to use the missiles to blow up the targets that you need, or the machine gun. Don't fly too low. I was a little bit lucky there that I flew quite low while firing the missiles. If you do fly too low, you do run the risk of blowing yourself up and being wasted, and you wouldn't want to do that while you're on your way to level 12. You will need to get a whole lot more levels in for, as I mentioned, the Take the Cannoli trophy, but again, I'll give you a guide, or there will be a guide on the channel. So simply just machine gun and or fire the missiles. Again, I was a bit lucky there because I was quite so low, so try and keep kind of higher up and fire down on the target from above rather than kind of flying at the level. It may take you a couple of times to hit each vehicle. Be careful of the kind of the trees as well. The trees will cause you to go off your course. And if you can get the cars to spawn in the correct place, that is exactly the best possible alternative, where they are actually inside the airport structure itself. I've managed to get the Bull in the China Shop trophy there, so that was for causing an amount of damage. I think it's $1 million worth of damage, so you should either rack that up doing this, or you may have unlocked that before, depending on how much you like to mess around on Vice City, just going on random rampages with general vehicles. This is much easier than the Grand Theft Auto 3 vigilante mission, which you have to find how to steal a tank, which is a lot more difficult. This one actually just unlocks for you. So here we'll see, this is another spawn location that we can get the cars to spawn. So along this road is generally sometimes where you will get that kind of repetitive spawn that I was talking about. So that's once you've got that, you can kind of hover over the location and the cars will just kind of spawn by you, and you can just blow them up straight away, which is what you're looking for when you want to reach the higher levels. Occasionally you'll get cars as well that just disappear off the map, so that can be also of benefit to you if you are going to some of the higher levels. The Hunter is a very strong helicopter as well, so it does forgive you quite a lot for flying into the various buildings, so you don't have to be very precise, but I would always take the path of least resistance rather than going through the buildings like I kind of did there. I could have been a bit more patient and just gone over the building rather than kind of through the gap, which risks getting caught up in the side of the building and possibly damaging the health of the Hunter. But as I mentioned, you do well to damage this military chopper. It does have quite a bit of health. So you'll eventually, as you get up through the levels, have more vehicles to target. Usually these will actually be in the same location, so you can see all the three of these are all pinned together, which is really good for me just to swoop in and blow them up. Or at least try and blow them up. Successfully or not, using the machine gun and or the missiles. Again, it doesn't matter which ones you use. I've just preferred the missiles. The machine gun, you can't really tell whether you're actually hitting your target with it or not, which is the main thing. Whereas the missiles, there's an obvious big explosion. You can really tell where you're actually aiming with those. Whereas, like I said, the machine gun, you can't really tell whether you're being accurate or not. Well, the machine gun does help in tight confined locations, so I would advise using that when you're in those locations. I'm using it a little bit here because I don't want to get too low, because there's quite a lot of, or they're quite tight to the side of one of the buildings, so I don't want to end up knocking my rotors onto the side of the building. So some of them can be a little bit difficult, but just keep working away, going backwards and forwards, and eventually you'll get that. We did it to get to level 12, so it will take you probably 20-25 minutes to complete this trophy, maybe half an hour, depending on how the spawn of the actual vehicles is. The closer they are together, the easier it will be. See, I've already got to level 10 with this, so I'm going through this fairly quickly. You might not be as lucky, or you might be even more lucky to get it a more tight-knit group. That's essentially what you're looking for. You're looking for everything to kind of spawn together so that you have more of a chance to kill them all at once. I haven't done any other spawn locations, so that was by the airport was the one I chose, because I thought that if I could get things to spawn on the runway, then that would be ideal. But in reality, it depends on, after about 5 or 6 levels, it seems to have set where it's going to actually spawn the vehicles, rather than actually being random from that point onwards. So hopefully after level 5 or 6, if you aren't happy and are going for the longer run, sort of taking the cannoli run, then you can obviously just quit and start again. There are a couple of other locations that are really good for this, so you can get them to spawn on not this bridge but the bridge further to the south of that. That's a really good one, 'cause it's massively exposed and you can fly at either side of it, so that's another good area that you could possibly get the cars to spawn. And again, it doesn't matter so much for this level 12 run that we're doing for this particular trophy. It will matter more when you're going to take the cannoli, which is the longer and more grindy trophy that you will have to get to complete the game 100%. Obviously, to complete the game 100%, this is actually required, so, and I think this is the last thing I do for the 100% trophy that you can unlock. I don't know why I'm flying so low here, so I would advise not to do that. I was obviously trying the machine gun for this guy who's running away. Interestingly, if you do blow them up and they're not in their vehicle, they will actually find other vehicles to get in, so you do have to be careful of that. So do try and finish them before they manage to run away, otherwise they can get into some interesting situations or end up in the side of buildings or places where it's not that easy to access. If they do end up in the side of a building, my advice would be to just hover by the building and just fire as many missiles as you can at the building. Eventually, hopefully one of them will just pick them off. And that's how I'd done it when I did have some spawns that were not actually in the field of play, so to speak. And there we are, we've got to level 12 now. That's the Running Rampant Trophy unlocked. Our body armour is upgraded and we have some new clothes. And I've done it all trophy as well. Thank you for watching this video. I hope it's helped you unlock those 2 trophies if you still have it to do. Thank you, and we'll talk to you soon.